Shalom Aleichem, beautiful friends. And I just want to start off by really appreciating the messages that I've got over the last few recordings. Thank you very much. My wanting is to be helpful. So Be'ezras Hashem, what I share with you should upgrade our lives and should give us a little more understanding and shape of the exile redemption process, Be'ezras Hashem, and as well how we directly fit into that. So the question I'd like to ask today is an expression of really what happened a little bit more at this time of Adam and Chava eating from the tree. As we know, Adam and Chava, they took a bite, they ate from the tree, and things radically changed on all levels. And the question we can ask is, further, what happened? What went on? And what we can share is as following, that what went on was two elements that really draws from one element. So at first what we can share is when Adam and Chava ate from that tree, there was a dropping in their consciousness. As the Gra writes, when they were in Gan Eden, they were on this level of Edenic consciousness, which we really don't know even how to talk about today. When they ate from the tree, there was a falling of their consciousness. And with the falling of their consciousness, there was a disconnect, there was a break from the source. So we're now not connected to the source as we once were, and there's a lowering of our consciousness. We're not as conscious as we were. You see, my friends, that if we were experiencing Edenic consciousness, there was divine light flooding and pulsating through the whole of a reality. Pure, unadulterated, clear expression of this light. And it was a inflow, everything fed on to the next. And it was a throughway on every level of pure light. And when Adam and Chava ate from the tree, there was a severing, there was a breaking, there was a dropping in consciousness, and then a disconnect. So now the way the light comes down is not straight. It's bent out of shape, so to speak. It's not as revealed as it once was. There's a hest upon him. So we still have a world. And the world that we live in is now not a clear-cut evolution of that God light, going from one level to another level, to another level, to another level. We don't clearly perceive it. We don't clearly experience it. So again, the consciousness of Adam and Chava dropped, it fell, there was an implosion. And number two, because of this, there was now a disconnect from that light. There was a disconnect from the source. So there was a falling out of consciousness and a separation from the source. There was a fracture. And what we can share is that number one, we're all parts of that fracture. You and I, we are all parts, all of reality as we know it. It's all part of that fracture, especially the human species. We are part of that fracture, and as we said, we are working our way back as humanity, back to that oneness, back to that love. And this is why in Yiddishkeit, something which is ever so important, in Yiddishkeit there is such an emphasis on two midos. Number one is found in so many Sforim, the Heilige Zayda, the Vilna Gaon, or the other Zayda, Rav Noam Elimelech in Seitel Katan, that the Nukuda of what? Tikkun Hamidos. The Gra writes in Evan Shleima that if a person is not being metaken the midos, lama lo chaim, why are they living? And the Noam Elimelech in Seitel Katan says something very similar as well. This Nukuda of Tikkun Hamidos is a must in Yiddishkeit. To fix up, to repair, to beautify our midot. Well, that's to do with our consciousness. That's raising our consciousness. As the Vilna Gaon writes in the Biron Mishle, that the Seichel, or the Das, has to be manhig the midos, that there should be a through way of consciousness. We're not just living through impulse, but we are thought out. We are thought out. There's an awareness. So that's Tikkun Hamidos. The other Nakuda, which is so important, which is found throughout every other Torah, for example, of Kamana, is V'ahavta l'recha kamocha. Ahava. Respect for one another. And this Nakuda, these two Nakudas, Tikkun Hamidos and the world of Achdus, They directly correlate to that which happened at Chet Adam. We fell, we dropped in our consciousness, so our midos now are not as they should be. And number two, we don't, because of that falling, don't have proper respect for one another. This as well should give us a deeper understanding when the Torah was given. The Leshem says we were at the Madrega that we were in Gan Eden. So what had to happen? Famously, we know through Midrashim, that every single part of the human experience needed to be healed. So if a person had physiological issues, they were healed. If a person had emotional issues, they were healed. Psychological issues, they were healed. There needed to be a healing because our consciousness needed to be in the right space to receive the Torah. But what's something else that had to happen to Makabel the Torah? Achdus. We had to be together. Ishached and Levachad. We had to camp round the mountain as one. So now hopefully we can understand through what happened when Adam and Chava ate from that tree. Their consciousness dropped and there was a disconnect from source. There was a shattering. So our repair is Tikkun HaMidos and Achdus. That we have to metaken our midos, which is raising our consciousness. And then connecting to the sources. All of us have to come together by Achdus. So hopefully as we go further, we will deepen our understanding. And right now, beautiful chevra, we should experience bracha, mazel, and hatzlacha. Live with strength, live with resilience, live with clarity, and be proud that we are who we are. L'chaim, tovim, u'l'shalom.